everybody, PengWin here. So yeah, I'm PengWin. I introduced myself to you guys in a vlog last week, which I think ended up being titled something along the lines of the least informative vlog ever made ever, which pretty much sums up just how uninformative my little introduction vlog was. So I'm gonna be making my second vlog a better version of the first one. Let's just ignore the last one ever happened, and let's start over. Also, Bad Fat Panda made a 30-minute tryhard vlog. A 30-minute tryhard vlog! You know what that means? I'm gonna make a tryhard vlog too, because I will not be bested, Panda. If you're watching this, I will not be bested. So, that said, I've got my water, and I got my notes on my other monitor. I'm going to be trying to read off my notes, trying to like look in the camera so you guys can actually think I'm talking to you, and so that it doesn't come across as me just sitting in an empty room talking to myself, because that just sounds rather creepy, which is kind of what I'm doing. If any of my neighbors happen to like think I'm talking to myself, don't worry, I'm not crazy. Also, go back to sleep. It's 5 a.m. What the fuck are you doing up? So, alright. I guess I'll start with, me. My name is PengWin. My real name is Stefan Mott. I am Swiss. Legally, I'm also, like, half American. I have an American passport, but I don't like to consider myself American because Switzerland is just the best country in the world. Shh, don't tell the Americans. But yeah, I was born in Columbus, so I have a passport. Never lived in the States, lived in Switzerland my whole life. I speak fluent Swiss German, albeit with a bit of an accent because I speak more English than German these days. And yeah, I've got one sister. She is 11 years older than me, so we never actually got in fights at all. I just sort of took advantage of her, like always, because like I was just a really little brother, so she like took care of me all the time when I was a kid. And now that she's older than me and actually has money, I can mooch off of her that way as well. It's really quite cool. So I love you, Katie, and thanks for your money. Okay, not really, but she did let me live with her for like 4 months with her husband. She's married to a South African Scottish guy named Brian, who is a chef. Pretty awesome. She's actually a psychologist. She works at the International School of Winterthur as a counselor at the moment, but she has a master's degree in psychology. She's probably the coolest person in the world, and they're going to be having a kid in a month or two, so I'm going to be an uncle. I'm not a kids person. But it's fine, because I can turn this kid into a StarCraft 2 pro. Grooming for success. Better look out, Artosis. My nephew is going to be the best StarCraft 3 player in the world. Anyway, let's see, where am I? Yes. So, I've always been in the international school system. I went to the International Primary School of Zurich, which then merged with the American International School of Zurich to become Zurich International School. My dad was the head of that, so I always got, like, I got a private education for free, which is kind of cool. And my dad is the head of that, and my mom used to teach there as well, so it was a bit of an odd dynamic, but it was never really something that bothered me. My sister went through the Swiss system because she didn't really want to be associated with that, but myself, it never really bothered me at all. It was a little annoying because all the teachers were on really good terms with both of my parents, so like whenever I didn't do my homework, my parents would find out about it before I would. It was a little awkward, but other than that, it was a pretty cool experience. I spent, I think, 6 months in Swiss school and hated it so much, like, I like tried to stop going and like started like baking, being sick and shit. It was not good, but yeah. So basically, that was my education. I went through I finished high school with like 4 APs and a couple of IBs finished. I did IB music and IB theater, and that's sort of that's the other career path that I'm looking at, is musical theater, acting, singing, one of those, any of those really. But yeah, I've always been a pretty creative person. I've always been into writing, and I don't actually have much time for writing that much anymore, just because I'm so busy with StarCraft 2. And but I've also always been into music and theater a lot. Ever since I was able to, I was in choirs. I was in a children's choir at church when I was still forced to go to church. So that was like a sort of first exposure to music for me. And then I was in choir at school when that started being offered when I was in 4th grade or something. No, we had music. We had music, and then we had choir. Like music in like lower school, like really young. I was always in music classes, like, and then as soon as it became optional to not take music, I still took music. So because I really love music, I loved singing. I thought I was pretty good at singing, and because I'm a narcissistic asshole, I still think I'm pretty good at singing. But yeah, so basically that was pretty fun, and I've always really been into all of those things, everything that's really creative, except for drawing. I'm not very good at drawing or painting or anything visual. It's kind of sad. But music's always been a really cool thing for me. And when it comes to music and theater, there are some like really important things that sort of help shape my life and shape my sort of interests. And musically, I was always part of the Association for Music in International Schools. I was always part of their honor choir festivals. I went to 7 honor choirs, 2 in middle school. I did middle school honor boys choir in 7th and 8th grade, and then I did the mixed honors choir, which is the like main event, in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, and I also did the honor jazz choir in 11th and 12th grade as well. And those are just really awesome experiences. You learn so much. There's just so much packed in. There's amazing music here with amazing musicians, the best musicians in the international system. So you get to work with amazing people. They have amazing conductors, and you just learn so much. And it's always just a really awesome experience. So anybody who's in an international school, definitely try to go to UMI things. Like, they're so awesome. The other big thing was musicals and plays. I can just go down the list of plays and stuff I was in. I was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That was my first real exposure to acting. In 2nd grade, I was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and they offered me the role of Augustus Gloop. And because I was in 2nd grade, I thought they were going to like make me get fat or something, so I refused to do the role, and I got recast as an Oompa Loompa. So I was offered the role of Augustus Gloop, but I didn't take it because I enjoyed not being fat. And then in 4th grade, we did a sort of like play on the rainforest, and like it was sort of like a news show in the rainforest or some crap like that. So as a 4th grader, I played Wolf Blitzer. 4th grade PengWin playing Wolf Blitzer. And so yeah. After that, 5th grade, we didn't really do anything. 6th grade, no. Oh yeah, the next thing that I was in, the next big thing, we didn't really have anything for a few years. We had drama class and stuff, but we didn't actually have any performances. So the next thing I was in was Into the Woods in 8th grade. We did a production of Into the Woods, musical by Stephen Sondheim, a great musical, and I played Rapunzel's prince, which is pretty fun. That was the first real musical role I had, which was really awesome. It was definitely a cool experience, my first real experience in musical theater, so that was great. And after that, I started doing every musical and play that I could. I auditioned for all of them. I didn't get all the roles, obviously, because like some of the plays are like 4 people, and they're like 4 or 5 plays a year. So in 9th grade, I was in a play called Condemned, which I'm not supposed to ever talk about because it was the worst play ever made. It was written by 4 students at ZIS for their IB theater course. And if any of them ever watch this video, I'm sorry, but I don't think even you guys thought it was good. Like, it was really bad. I played a guy called Jay, so I was a supporting, not a lead, but like, I had like a really tiny role, but the play only ended up being like 20 minutes, so like my 5-minute role ended up being like the size of a supporting lead or something. It was really weird, like, just weird. I was also in Little Shop of Horrors, which was the musical that year. I was in that as an extra, which was kind of cool. That was the first experience I had with high school musical theater, so I was working with like, this was like a real production. I was in a real production! The year after that, what were the plays? Yes, I was part of the backstage crew for Barefoot in the Park, which was fun. But I got to play Teen Angel in Grease as a 10th grader, which is still one of my favorite roles. It was a great role. I got to wear a gold sparkly suit and like have my hair all gelled up. I looked really badass. The suit actually had so much like metal glitter on it that it screwed with my mic frequency, so I wasn't allowed to actually use it for the performances. But it was still cool to be able to wear it during the dress rehearsal and tech rehearsal. I'll say that. I have some pictures. It was pretty cool. After that, 11th grade. Did I do any plays in 11th grade? I feel like I did, but I can't remember. I don't remember plays. Musical-wise, I was in Footloose. That's another sort of Condemned. That was so bad. Like, the director, she was like fired afterwards because it was so obscenely bad. Like, she replaced all of the stage songs with the movie songs, and then like cast a bunch of actors who couldn't sing in the lead roles. And then when she realized they couldn't sing, she like gave their songs to different characters, which then made no sense because those characters could sing. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. So we don't talk about that either. And then 12th grade was really cool because my friend Alex John, one of my best friends in high school, we don't talk so much anymore, which is a little sad, but he directed a performance of 7 Stories, and I got to play Michael, which was awesome. Like, that is probably the favorite role I've ever had in a play. Basically, I played this really pretentious guy who, like, had the worst fashion sense, like, thought he was amazing at everything, thought he was, like, a fashion connoisseur, and, like, it was an awesome role. And he's, like, melodramatic as fuck, which is great, because I love playing those roles, because I'm like that in real life sometimes. Like, I'm really melodramatic as well, and it was pretty much like, the way we described it was me on steroids. That was the role, so I really enjoyed that. And then as well, in the winter of my senior year, we put on Les Miserables, which, considering that we just put on Footloose, was like a bajillion times better. It was a really stellar performance. We had Miss Tranchet, who's now doing all of the high school plays, but she was middle school at the time. She sort of took over, and she used to do stuff on Broadway, so she's actually like amazingly good. And she put this together, and it was an absolutely stunning performance. And I got to play Javert, so that's the main antagonist, which is great, because I love playing antagonists as well, like playing the bad guys. Like, oh, I love it. And that's my favorite musical of all time as well. And my best friend Mike played Valjean, who's the protagonist. So, like, it was like really awesome. Like, well, one of my best friends, Mike. But yeah, like, you get the point. It was like really awesome. It was great chemistry. My friend Drew played Thénardier, who was like, he was amazing as well. The casting was pitch perfect. Everything was just so well done. And that was like a great end to my musical career in high school. And finally, the last thing I was in was Peter Pan. I assistant directed Peter Pan with my friend Isabella, and I also played a bunch of extras in it because we had a bunch of people drop out when they didn't get leads. So I was the musical director, and I also like played a gay pirate, which was really funny. I think I have pictures of that as well. Like, I was wearing like a pink tie as a bandana, and like spent half my time on stage like applying mascara and shit. That was fun as well. That was really fun. I spent a little longer on that than I was intending, like talking wise, but that's pretty much my high school career up until then. That was really entertaining, and I bring that up because I ended up spending 8 months in London. I took a foundation course at Regent's College in acting, which was kind of cool. I didn't learn that much, but it was an entertaining time. I met some really cool people, and if any of my classmates from that year are watching, you guys are awesome. We don't talk enough. Hit me up sometime. But yeah, that's... And the reason that I wanted to focus on that a little bit is that my exposure to theater, not so much music, but my exposure to theater really shaped one of the 2 paths that I'm doing right now, and my exposure to music really shaped the other one. So those 2 things are really important to me. My exposure to theater, my exposure to, like, doing stuff in public, like training my voice, being able to project and stuff, has helped me so much in my casting. Like, when I started casting, when a lot of people start casting, they're like, they feel really awkward, they don't really sound like they're comfortable or anything. That never happened with me. Like, I always sounded really comfortable. I sounded really good. My problem is that I didn't know shit about the game, but I'll get into that later. And my music really carried over into my sort of career as a brony musician. I'm going to be focusing on that as well, because I sort of want this to encompass everything that's important to me. This vlog, I want it to encompass everything that's important to me. And my music and my casting and my playing is all really important to me. Alright, so I'm actually going to branch out towards music quickly. The main focus of this vlog is, I mean, obviously it should be my gaming, but I do want to focus on this a little bit because this is kind of cool. And I know there are a good number of StarCraft 2 people who are fans who are also bronies. If you're not, you should definitely try it out. Don't be a hater just for the sake of hating. Do give the show a watch. But anyway, I'm a brony musician. I have a YouTube channel which has stuff solely dedicated to me being a musician. I do song parodies mostly. I've got some covers. I'm working on some really cool stuff. I'm working on a couple original songs, a couple original like vocal remixes of songs that are like rearranged by myself, and like a lot of really cool stuff is coming. But up until now, I've really only been doing parodies and covers, mostly parodies. So that's sort of what I'm known for. I'm not like super popular or anything. I've got about 600 subscribers at this point. But yeah, anyway, basically, I guess I'll start from the beginning there on how I became a brony. Basically, my friend Ben Murphy. So it's all his fault. It's all his fault. Blame him. Don't blame me. Don't blame the ponies. Blame Ben. So Ben Murphy, he kept pestering me about this show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Ben is the biggest troll in the world, so I always thought he was fucking trolling. I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch the show. You stop, no, you're obviously trolling. No. Until like I'm a very like competitive person. I like arguing and debating. I don't like arguing as in like just like being a dick. I enjoy debating stuff though. And Ben, like, and I was like, okay, you know what? He won't shut up, so I'm gonna watch a couple episodes and put together constructed arguments about why this is retarded as hell. So I watched the first 2 episodes. And then I watched the 3rd episode. And then I watched the 4th episode, and then I watched the 5th episode, and I woke up the next morning, and by wake up, I mean I didn't actually wake up because I didn't go to sleep, and by the time, like, it was time for class the next day, I'd watched all of season 1 and really, really enjoyed the show, so I realized it's time to go to class, and I'm just like, what have I done? What have I done? I'm not a man anymore! I was enjoying it! I found out later that that Ben was not actually trolling. He's also a brony. I love that guy. And yeah, that was pretty much how it started. My first parody was a song called Brony. Simple. It's a parody of a Swedish Eurovision song called Man Boy. And basically, I didn't like plan this or anything. Like I was listening to like somebody linked me the song Man Boy, which is really catchy. It's really retarded lyrics, but really catchy. Like man boy, you can call me man boy. I don't care. I'll show you how to love. Retarded lyrics, retarded lyrics. But like, I'm listening to this song, and my brother-in-law. I'm staying with my sister at the time. And my brother-in-law like pops his head in, and he's like, you should totally write something that's just like, Brony, you can call me Brony. Something about being gay. And then I was like, haha, very funny. And then like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, wait a minute, I have like an entire chorus playing in my head at this point. Just, Brony, you can call me Brony. I don't care, I'm showing all my friends. Not a very good song, like lyrically, but it's my first endeavor. And I'm like, you know what, this is entertaining. I'm going to write this down, I'm going to record it, and I'll send it to my friends. So I recorded it, I put it on a new YouTube channel that I just called PengWin Brony. I'm like, you know what, I don't want to put this on my StarCraft channel, because it's not StarCraft, people aren't going to care. Nobody really cared about the song, nobody cared for it really. It got like 20 views, not a big deal. Like, I got like 4 subs out of it, and like 1 was me and 3 were my friends. I showed it to my friends though, and it was really cool. They liked it, they found it funny. And pretty much like a month later, my friend Philip wrote me. He's like, dude, when are you going to make another parody? I'm like, I wasn't really planning on it. He's like, no, dude, come on, do it. Yeah, it was fun, it was good. I'm like, okay. I guess I'll consider it. And the way my parodying works is that like, I get an idea and I write the song. Like, I don't go looking for, I mean I do now occasionally. If I go a while without a song, I'll like actively listen to a bunch of songs that like may be parody wise, but basically I just listen to songs, and while I'm listening to a song I'll just get an idea for a parody in my head, and then I'll write the parody. That's how it goes. So like 3 or 4 days after he said that, my friend sent me Call Me Maybe right after it was released, and I was like, this is so easy to parody. So I wrote a song called Manly Maybe, which to this day is my most viewed and most approved of video. I think I did a remastered version a month and a half or so ago, and between the 2 versions I think it has something like 80,000 views, which like isn't a huge amount by YouTube standards, but for me that's crazy. 80,000 views? That's a shit ton of views, like Jesus Christ. So that's just really, really cool. And that was released, and I sent it into Equestria Daily, which is like the main website for like Brony stuff, Brony news, like Brony music and stuff. They have posts and stuff, and every now and then. And I sent that in, and it got featured. I was like, oh my god, it got featured. And like 2 days later, I had 40 subs, and I was like, people like my stuff. I should totally release more stuff. So I started just producing parodies every now and like every time I got an idea, I sort of like, at the beginning, I put out a lot of parodies, just sort of like in succession to sort of get more people interested. Now I've sort of laid off. I'm focusing more on quality than quantity. But yeah, I mean, it's gone really, really well. And basically, the way it all, like, when I released Manly Maybe, it wasn't very good quality. It wasn't, like, I mean, the lyrics are good. The lyrics are like some of my best lyrics, but that was just sort of a fluke. Like, if you listen to my other early songs, the lyrics aren't that great. I mean, a lot of it was inspired just by the fact that I was getting views, but after a while I started listening to a lot of brony musicians, and I have a lot of main inspirations, and I do just want to like put this out there because these guys, if you don't know them, you should check them out. They make awesome stuff, and they do inspire me to continue what I'm doing, even though they don't do the same sort of stuff I do. They do have amazing music, and the fact that they exist in this community just inspires me to try to be the best I can be. That my main inspirations are The Living Tombstone, Glaze, who's also known as Wooden Toaster, Forest Rain on YouTube. If you search "Put Trust in Faith," that's the name of his channel. Forest Rain, if you search that, it should come up with stuff. He's pretty popular. Electric Explosion as well, an awesome musician. Jeff Burgess, he's relatively new, but he's gotten a lot of attention because his stuff is insanely good. And the other main inspiration for me is just the support for my subscribers. Basically, 600 subscribers isn't a huge amount, but when I think that I have enough people who enjoy my music that they want to, that like I have enough people who enjoy my music that they could actually fill a small auditorium, like that just blows my mind a little bit. Like that's, I mean, it does blow my mind. And to each and every one of my subscribers, massive thanks. I say it in like most of my specials that like you all are amazing, but like it's actually like really awesome that all of those people actually like my stuff. And basically just my cheesy bit's over, but just to speed it up a little bit. After a few songs, I started working with my friend Enrico, who agreed to sort of do like mastering and stuff to make my songs better. And since then, like the song quality is like skyrocketed. It's awesome. Like he's made my stuff so much better. I love that guy so much, Enrico. I know sometimes that you don't get my songs done on time, but don't worry. I love you. I love you so much. Oh yeah, so this summer I went to 2 brony conventions. The first brony conventions I've ever been to. The first one is Galacon up in Stuttgart. I didn't get to do much there. It was sad because I had to come back down the same day to play in a StarCraft tournament. So I pretty much like spent 3 hours getting there, and then was only able to like be in the con for like 2 hours, 2-3 hours. But I met Luxen Nocta, also known as Jan, pretty awesome guy. One of my subscribers, and well, one of the coolest guys I've met from the brony fandom. Absolutely, he is awesome. That was like my highlight for going there. Also, the voice actors panel was like the dub people. It was the Twilight from the German version and the Spitfire from the Swedish version. They were still really cool though, and it wasn't the most amazing thing panel wise, but it was really cool to meet Luxen and just sort of chill out there for a while. And it was my first exposure to like massive amounts of people celebrating ponydom. But the week after that, I went to Buck, which is BronyCon UK. And that was insane. It was like 700 people all there to celebrate My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Every single person so unique, so awesome, and everyone gathered there with pretty much the idea that they're like, we were paying homage to friendship. The idea of friendship, being tolerant, love for other people, and there's really nothing better to sort of base your life on. There are a lot of people who hate the show just because it's aimed at children initially, but there's just so much stuff that is good that comes from the show. The core values. If you were to live your life on the core values expressed in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, your life would probably be a lot fuller. I hear this time and time again, and like it doesn't really hold as much true for me as other people because like I was already pretty happy. But a lot of people say like this show has made me happy. This show has made me a lot happier. It sort of pulled me out of like stories of people being pulled out of depression, stories of people being like having suicidally bad lives, and just this show and its morals and the community turning that around. Like this community is amazing, and Buck, more so than Galacon a lot I feel, but Buck was just the embodiment of this for me. And at Buck, I met a guy called Rek. People in the brony community may know him as one of the most awesome drawers and artists ever. Seriously, Rek is awesome. He's also a main guy on Brony State, so if you know what Brony State is, you know who Rek is. But yeah, we hung out pretty much the whole weekend. It was really awesome, and Rek is awesome, so shout out to Rek. And it was really funny because initially I didn't realize who he was. Like, I missed the guest of honor badge and just like was hanging out with him for ages, and then like an hour later he's like, yeah, I'm Rec. I'm like, oh shit, really? So that was fun. And that was really cool as well. The other really cool thing about BronyCon UK is that like nobody really knew who I was because I wasn't a guest of honor or anything. But basically, I entered one of my songs in a contest and it came third. So at the closing ceremony, they called me up like to get a bronze medal. And like after that, like people who I'd been hanging out with without like them knowing who I was, like started coming up to me after the closing ceremony. There was like 20 or 30 people who were just like, we didn't know you were PengWin, Brony! So like this was actually people who like my music, like people who I guess you could call fans, like who actually really like my stuff. So I met them in person, and that was just like, that was also just like, what? This is so awesome! People like my stuff, they really exist! It's not just my friend Tim who made 600 accounts to subscribe to me too. They really exist! So that was like, that was absolutely awesome. I loved that, and shout out to everybody I met there, especially Rec. And yeah, just like my future as a brony musician is sort of just more stuff. I'm going to be going to Pony Stock next year, so Everfree Northwest, I will be there. I'll be performing at Pony Stock. I'm planning on going to BronyCon. I'm planning on maybe hitting up Canterlock Gardens. GalaCon is a must. Buck is a must. I'm going to do the whole tour and hopefully meet a lot of people there. It's going to be really awesome. So looking forward to that, absolutely. I'm going to start doing a few original songs. More parodies coming your way, obviously. And just a whole lot of stuff coming out of myself as a brony musician in the next few months. So look forward to that. I need to transition to StarCraft 2, so I'm going to head over to Team Liquid Ponies as the next sort of subject. It's not going to be a long subject, but for people who like StarCraft, Dota, gaming, who are on Team Liquid and like bronies, who like ponies, hit up hashtag TL Ponies on IRC. That's our IRC chat. We are awesome. There are so many awesome people there. So just that is awesome as well. Like, like there are a lot of really awesome people there, and particularly Gary Oak is like a good person to use as a transition here because he also works at Base Rate TV, and sort of he got into that through me, and I got into like knowing him through the Team Liquid Ponies. So really awesome. So blame the Team Liquid Ponies for like having Gary casting. So yeah, shout out to everyone there. I don't want to go through names because it'll take forever, but specific shout outs to Dot, Rawr, who are always on my stream. Zealot Killer, you're awesome as well. White Wing, Gary Oak, Kane Craft, so Kane, love you Kane, Wicked, BioSC for running BronyCraft. So many people! And Dibs for drawing horse porn. But no, seriously, Dibs, stop that. No, but like, no, none of us approve. Except for Skint. But just stop with the horse porn, Dibs. Please. Please! We're gonna rewind back in time to my childhood here because we're getting into gaming now. Gaming. Now, my first exposure to gaming was in first grade. My friend Sebastian, who, like, God, I haven't thought about him in years. Sebastian gave me Pokemon Red. Like, he just gave it to me, and it was frickin' awesome. I'd never heard of Pokemon before I was 6 years old. This game though was fucking awesome, man. I loved it so much. I immediately bought Pokemon Yellow when I beat Pokemon Red, and I played Pokemon to death. Through the third generation, really. Through Sapphire and Ruby and Emerald, I played them to death. My favorites remain Gen 2. Crystal is my favorite game, just because you can get 16 badges, which is just awesome. And then fight Red or Ash, whatever the fuck you want to call them, at the mountain thing. Champion Mountain, it has some cheesy name. But, yeah, I love that. I love those games. The first console I had was an N64, and basically my dad, whenever he went traveling, he'd bring me back an N64 game. Pokemon Stadium was the first. But the big ones that I played a lot were Mario Kart. I played that with my sister, actually. She would play that with me. And GoldenEye. Now, GoldenEye, I didn't actually own GoldenEye, but my friend David and my friend Oliver, they were my two best friends. This is, like, not first grade anymore. This is, like, 4th grade. They both own GoldenEye, and I used to have tennis once a week with my friend David, my best friend David. We used to go to tennis once a week, and it would be, like, not right after school. We'd have, like, 3 hours before tennis, because we got off school early on Wednesday. So we'd go back to his house, we'd do homework, and we would play video games. And damn, did we have competitive games in GoldenEye. Like, holy God. We would play, like, Man with the Golden Gun in Archives for, like, 2 hours straight. I'm going to turn on the lights a little bit, because it's looking a bit bright. But, man, like, that frickin' game was so awesome, and, after that, we started playing a couple other things. Like we used to like play like pod racing and shit like that as well. But mainly GoldenEye. We always went back to GoldenEye. The first PC game I ever got was Warcraft 3. My friend Oliver Telford, who's the Oliver I told you about just a second ago, who also had GoldenEye, he got me into that, and he showed me this awesome game. And I played customs for the most part. I was like 11. I was like 5th grade, so I was like 11 when I played this game. And I played almost all customs. I was a big fan of Tower Defense, Line Tower Wars. I was a boss at Line Tower Wars, Footman Wars, and occasionally I'd play ladder. And like, when I played ladder, I was so bad and so lowly ranked that like I literally thought No Rush 20 was standard. Like, when people wouldn't say No Rush 20, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? That's not how you fucking play this game. The fuck? But no, No Rush 20 was just like everything I did. And like 2v2 with my friend Oliver. Like, we were so bad at that game. So bad at that game. But that game acted as my sort of gateway into PC games. And after that, World of Warcraft came out. And World of Warcraft, oh dear. Oh dear. I played it for 4 years, on and off. On and off is important because, like, I never was good at this game. I was never good. I think I went on, like, 3 raids in my life and, like, played Arena a few times with my friend Oliver. But I got it right after launch, and I was god-fucking awful. I was so bad at this game. I think, like, it took me until, like, Wrath of the Lich King to reach max level on the same character I'd been playing for years. I had a priest called Zurangas, and I was pretty good at healing Sunken Temple. I will tell you that much. I was okay at, like, my healing duties and shit, but leveling, I just, like, could never find the motivation to get past, like, a certain level, and then I'd start a new character, and I had, like, 9 characters all around level 40 or something. It was like, oh god, it was awful. It was really bad. And then I'd quit, and then I'd start again, and then I'd quit, and then I'd start again, so I'd keep having to, like, start over these new characters, because, like, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm starting over. I want to start over. I don't want to just go back to like near max level. I want to play a new character. So it was like a waste of 4 years of my life. My grades went. But then that was sort of like the next 4 years of PC gaming for me. That and Football Manager. But then StarCraft 2 came out. The same friend Oliver. Like, friend Oliver is the guy who's like gotten me into all my PC games. But my friend Oliver like told me, this game is like Warcraft 3, but cooler. So I'm like, oh my god, it's like Warcraft 3, but cooler? The fuck does that work? So I got it. Like, it was a couple weeks after launch, I think. Yeah, whatever. Like August, I think I got it. Like the beginning of August. So a couple weeks after launch. When I started this game, basically, I would play 2v2 with Oliver, exclusively, with the exception of playing 3v3 with Oliver and Thomas. So, basically when we started, Oliver would tell me in every game, go Mutalisks or go Hydralisks. And I would tech there, and I would go them, and I would probably fail. This went on for about a couple weeks, and then I decided to try 1v1. And every single fucking game, I tried to go mass Hydralisk or mass Mutalisk, because that's what I knew. I got placed into bronze, I lost every single game, and I was fucking bad. And by bad, I mean, like, in the first month, I played maybe 45 games, and I won 8, and, like, of those 8, like, 4 of them were disconnects, and, like, it was so bad, and it was so bad to the point that I quit the game. I said, you know what, this is fucking bullshit. I can't play this game. Like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Like, a month and a half after I quit, Oliver writes me back. Like, he's like talking to me, and he's like, dude, I'm bored, we should play some 2v2. I'm like, oh, fine, we'll play some fucking 2v2. And it was fun, so, like, we played occasionally 2v2. And then, like, a couple days after that, he's like, dude, I want you to watch some of these pros play. I'm like, they're pros? There are pros? The fuck? Who the hell plays video games professionally? Anyway, he linked me videos of Idra. And Idra, because of this, is the first player I was a fan of. Because he played Zerg and I played Zerg. I was like, this guy plays Zerg. So I loved Idra. And Idra and TLO were the 2 players I loved. TLO because he played random. How cool is it that someone played random? Then he switched to Terran, which made me sad. But I still supported him. And now he switched Zerg, so I love TLO again. But, yeah, that was what really started getting me into 1v1. And I watched a lot, like, for a few months, like 6 or 7 months, I watched literally every Husky and HD video that came out, and I started to learn the game. Like, I started to understand the game. I was still really bad, but I started to understand what I should do, okay, like, basically. And essentially, I spent, like, I don't care if I was, like, learning what to do, I was still bad. I spent 8 months in Bronze League. And look at me now! No, but I spent 8 months in Bronze League. It was really, really, really painful. And, basically, I had, like, dreams of being a pro gamer. I never had any expectations, but I was like, you know what, that would be really, really cool. I want, like, so I would, like, fantasize about being a pro gamer or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, and, like, imagine my games were, like, MLG games or whatever. Sad shit. Sad shit. But I was bronze, so I was, like, I just had fun, like, pretending or whatever. And then I finally got promoted to silver, and I only spent 2 weeks in silver, and then I got gold. But basically, let's skip ahead. I was gold when I went to MLG Orlando last year. This is 2011. 2011 MLG Orlando. I went with my friend Shashank, who I met through Ami, so connections everywhere. I met him through the Honor Choirs, so connections everywhere. And we went together. We're really good friends. So we went, we shared a hotel room, and we went as spectators. And by the end of the tournament, we both said to each other, we're going to be pro gamers. We're going to be pro StarCraft players. Which is absurd, because I was gold and I think he was silver. Yeah, so kind of absurd goals, but, you know, we said that. We said, we're going to fucking do it. Like, I got promoted to plat, like, right at, like, a couple weeks after that, which is really cool. But then we started to realize that we weren't very good at the game, so he said, you know what, we're going to try casting. We're going to try casting. So we decided that we would try casting some of those, some daily tournaments on Zeek.com and stuff like that. And we did for a while, and after like a month or so, one of the guys who played was like, this guy's actually a kind of good caster. So he like talked to his clan leader, and they invited me to be the caster for their clan, and I did like, and they were a Hungarian team, so I started casting a few clan wars for them, and I cast a couple nation wars as well, which is cool because I sort of got like a bunch of follows from the Hungarian scene. And then eventually, like, the third or so clan war they played was, nation war they played was against Switzerland, and I was like, this is my country, this is awesome! So I talked to some of the players, including a guy called Flunigs, who was on some team called My Insanity, and, basically, because I cast that clan war, that nation war, Scooter, who was the head of a team then called Broken Arrow, they were doing a tournament series, and they didn't have a caster. So he was like, dude, you want to cast our series? So I was like, this is awesome. This is a $200 weekly tournament. This is really, really big for me. This is actual money. So I cast that. I cast it through to the end. And during that, though, there was a LAN in Switzerland. I've never been to a LAN up until then. And Flunigs, who was the guy I talked to during the Nation Wars, and I've been talking to him a lot like since then. He was like, dude, come to Lock and Load. He kept trying to convince me, come to Lock and Load, come to Lock and Load. I'm still in London at this point, so it's a little hard, but I make it happen. I go to Luzern in Switzerland, and I go to Lock and Load, and I'm sitting with the My Insanity guys. And on day 2 of the event, Remo and Schluck, the two of the main guys at the time, like pulled me over, and they were like, dude, they wanted to discuss like whether or not I would join My Insanity. And it's sort of like, so I ended up joining My Insanity as a caster, which is really cool. And like right after that was MLG Columbus. I'm not really going to focus on that at all. That was in March of this year. I played just because I was going. It was an extra $30, and it was just another really motivational experience. Just going to all of those big events is just so motivational. But after that, I wrote Doomsville, who was then the head of the new, who was like the head of like the European head of Zeek or something, or like the head of like one of the main heads of Zeek, and he was starting Zeek TV. So I was like, hey man, half seriously, like not even fully seriously, I was like, hey man, if you need another caster. And he actually took me up on the offer, and I was like, whoa, really? So I joined Zeek TV at its inception with Bad Fat Panda, Nursky, and Gwyn. Gwyn, I think, is now working for Quantic. Nursky has experience with MLG and DreamHack, and Bad Fat Panda has like 20 bajillion subscribers on YouTube. So I'm like, holy shit, I am so unqualified compared to these guys, but it was a great experience. So I started casting with Bad Fat Panda on the weekends. Like, we would each do our own day, and then, like, we would alternate weekends for finals. So I cast a couple with Bad Fat Panda, and, like, casting with Bad Fat Panda or like I assume watching as well, but casting with him, like your brain actually gets bigger while you're casting with him. Like your brain ends up growing like 3 sizes because he's so smart when it comes to the game. He knows like everything ever. He's like Artosis, but more Stephen Colbert. Anyway, we did the Poker Strategy free roll for a while, and after a month or so, we almost lost the sponsorship with Poker Strategy because of some internal thing. And basically, Doomsville decided to restructure everything. So he brought in Verilyn, and she brought in Rifkin. Bad Fat Panda and myself stayed. Nursky and Gwyn left. Nursky he was on hiatus, so he wasn't really there either. So it was Verilyn, Rifkin, Bad Fat Panda, and myself. And Verilyn was like somebody who you will probably all know at this point. She was a Grandmaster Irish player, and she was going to be the head. Rifkin she brought on as a caster. So very quickly she managed to secure us a bunch of weekly events, which is great for us. We got Zotac, Game Creds, stuff like that. And we started doing those for a while. The Poker Strategy we didn't do anymore. But we started getting these weekly events, and she also started recruiting a bunch of guys. So we got our big break when Bad Fat Panda and Verilyn managed to get us the TSL 4 qualifiers. That was a big break for us. We cast those. We smashed the opposition. Axel Toss and Xander Fever were our competition, and we crushed them. We broke 3,000 viewers on 4 different casts. 3,000 concurrent viewers at 4 different casts, and like because of that, like we started to get a lot of a bit of a viewer base going, and a lot of sort of attention for a while. Then we started doing the Poker Strategy League, which is still going on. It's now being cast by SCB Rush, I think. But yeah, we got the Poker Strategy League. We started casting that, and sort of using TSL4 as a springboard. We started to get all these events, and she pulled in. Verilyn was able to pull in a lot of new casters. We sort of sifted through the people who weren't so good and the people who were good, and then we ended up with a really strong casting team, which culminated in our casting of DreamHack. DreamHack Valencia, we were able to cast. And Doom, not to be confused with Doomsville, Doom SC2, Rifkin, myself, and Bad Fat Panda all cast that event on, like, rotation. And at one point, we were over 11,000 viewers. So that was massive. So this was, like, our big break. This is our bigger break. We were going to use this to get so much done. Sponsors, we were going to get sponsors, more big events. And then the next day, the Verilyn scandal happened. Not going to go into that at all. If you want to check that out, it's on Team Liquid. That happened. Zeke TV imploded. Bad Fat Panda and I left straight away. The rest of the people left after a while. And since then, we've reformed under Base Trade TV, Map Control Casting Organization. And things are starting anew, but we have some really, really cool things going on. We've got the Pro League, we've got Zotac, we've got some really cool things, and we're getting started. But we're getting started well. We're already a leg up. We've got a great casting organization. We've got all of these great casters, and we've got you, the viewers. We love you so much. Like just tuning in, seeing the viewer count go up. It's just so awesome for all of us. I've got one more thing to cover. My playing. So I'm also a StarCraft 2 player. I started in Bronze. I'm currently High Masters. And just rewinding a bit to Summer. I went to DreamHack Summer with my team. And at the very beginning, I'd just been promoted to Master League. And as of that, I started putting on intense training. Like 6 hours a day. And I'm still doing that. 6 hours a day. Bam, 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 bam. That really led up to MLG Raleigh for me. MLG Raleigh was a big event. I went to Raleigh. I got to Winners Round 3, which was really cool, and then I played Vibe in 2 incredibly close games. Like, not like base trade close. The first game was really close. But, like, considering that I was Mid-Masters and he was Vibe, I did so well. Like, they are, to date, probably 2 of the best games I've ever played. I lost 0-2, and then I lost in Losers Round 3 to a guy who cheesed me out, which was sad, but that was like me. That sort of showed to myself, I'm on track. I'm doing well. So a few weeks ago, I went to West Sports LAN, which is on the other side of the country, and my goal was to come top 4. We started in the group stage. I went 5-2 in the group stage in matches, coming 3rd, which let me advance into the winner bracket. In the winner bracket, I lost to Elroy, who was the eventual winner, and then in the loser bracket, I lost to Xoni, who I have yet to take a game off of ever. He's not that much better than I am, and all of our games are really close, but he beats me all the time. And I placed 5th, 6th, so I missed my goal by 1 sort of placement, so it wasn't great. And then just last weekend was the Butcherlawn. I came 5th, 6th there as well, but it's a bigger event than Westport, so it's sort of a step forward. And I'm making really good strides as a player. I'm really looking forward to seeing where I am in a few months. My team, My Insanity, is opening a gaming house in a month, and I'm going to be moving in with teammates A-Bomb and Flunix, and we're going to start training really, really hard. So I'm thinking in a few months I'm going to be a lot better than I am now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where I am in a couple months. I hope you guys are as well. I have no fucking clue how long this has gone on for. Like, it's probably been obscenely long. If you made it through the whole thing, give yourself a pat on the back. Thanks for being interested, but you crazy! I'm interested to see how long this turned out to be, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting Map Control Casting Organization. Thank you all for supporting Base Trade TV. And to the people who support me as a musician, thank you to all of you as well. Please, I'm gonna put my musician thing in the description, my musician channel in the description. I'm gonna put my Twitch. I stream a lot of my ladder games. I am Grandmaster on Southeast Asia. Yeah, got that today. But yeah, thank you to all the support. Please follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my other channel if you would like. I also have a Facebook page. I'm just going to put all my links in the description below. Thank you again for watching. And you know what, Panda? Suck it! This was probably longer than your vlog.